This is Bobby with KWI on the Couch, and with me today from Craftforce, a local company and contractor that we've worked with for quite some time now with students. This is Miss Beth here, and I'll let her talk a little bit about Craftforce.
Well, thank you, Bobby, and thank you, KWI, for having me on today. It is an honor and it is a privilege always to work with the cream of the crop. As far as what Craftforce is and does, Bobby, I know you've got a taste of what we like to do, but I like to make it a one-stop shop for each of you, all your KWIs, and each of your students. So,
yes, ma'am.
You know, coming here with everything as far as doing mock interviews, doing real interviews, helping with interpersonal skills, helping with the resume, definitely getting them jobs is our #1 goal. But I want to make it all one-stop shop, meaning I'll come here like I have in the past with Ashley Applegate's permission and do all that, even drug test them on site with permission. Of course, we always background check, 2 reference checks, and then that gets the ball moving. So with Craftforce, we have 2 locations, one in Covington on Madison Avenue and one in Maysville, Kentucky, which we're just reopening that one due to the pandemic. So we are reopening up on the AA. That'll be maybe a couple weeks. But our CEO, Dustin Grutza, this is thick through his blood and all of ours as far as wanting to make sure that anyone in the skilled trades can get a job. And welders, of course, are my favorite to help. And I've learned a lot during the way. I need to learn a lot more about my welding skills. So.
Well, man, we've been on and off partnering with KWI and Craftforce since the inception. Yes. Really, you guys actually started about the same time that we did. I think I remember that roughly with Mr. Grutza. His father runs a construction business.
Correct.
And then, of course, this is the employment side, getting guys jobs, like you said. And yeah, you've been in to help us with job interview skills, soft skills. We actually now oral mouth swab because of what you used to bring in to KWI. So that's something we've adapted because of companies and contractors desiring that on the front side. So, and our drug test policy is pretty stringent. I don't know how many panels you guys are up to, but I think
10.
Yeah, we're doing a 10 or a 12 panel right now with the urinalysis. And we started, Miss Beth, I don't know if you know this or not, we started pulling hair.
Oh, did you?
Month 5, month 6.
Okay.
Just to put our minds at ease too, that if by chance they were to slip through something or other, that hair is going to catch it.
Absolutely.
And again, we're not putting our name on a student or a graduate that wouldn't be the best representation of what KWI is. So types of jobs in Craftforce. I'm sure you guys do an array of things, but specifically to the welding trades, what kind of things are you guys finding?
We specifically, Bobby, we have both outage type work at power plants, at new construction sites. So those are going to be a designated amount of time. And of course, some come with per diem, some don't. You'll always know your hours, your rate. If there's any special training that's need to be done, we send all our people with a little safety training. Of course, they're paid for that. We want to make sure everybody's a little bit safer than they can be. And we also do full-time permanent placement, so fabrication shops. We've got a lot of clients in Covington, a lot of clients in Cincinnati and the Fairfield. So those are, my MIG welders are probably 19 to 22 as far as an entry-level position. Then when you get to just more structural steel, it's going to be between 20 and 25. And these are for permanent placements, so this is full-time.
Yeah, that's great.
As far as that goes, TIG, there's not a lot of TIG jobs out there right now. And you really have to put your time in to get a TIG job down the line. And a lot of the individuals coming out of KWI, they want more structural steel jobs. So we do fabrication. We've got a big job at the Amazon plant in Burlington, Kentucky going on. We've got about 40 people there. We're going to need about 60 more come August, so I'm going to be
that's good. That's good. Outage-wise, so you talk about per diem and non-per diem. Typically speaking, and just so some of the viewers can gauge this, an outage typically runs 2 to 3 months, spring and fall.
Always spring and fall. And really, as far as power plants, we're at East Kentucky Power, that just winded down. We're at the Zimmer Power Plant, East Bend, we've been at IP&L. And it could be a night outage, and I know that sounds crazy, but your gentlemen have stepped up, Bobby. I've had a night outage at IPL in Maysville, and I had 3 of your gentlemen step up just to do one night for me, working 7 to 7. Really short notice. They were really prepared because they still had to go through the entire hiring process. So I know that's really short term, but then the gentleman, I've got 5 KWI gentlemen at the Amazon plant right now. They've been there for about 8 weeks. They've got another 4 to go, and they're doing fabulous.
And so those quick outages typically are called emergency outages.
Yes.
And so what you don't know, or maybe don't know, that if you wanted to be a Boilermaker and work those spring and fall outages, you can have the rest of your time to yourself, I guess, winter and summer typically, to do what you wanted. But you could always be on call for companies like Craftforce for emergency outages, where typically you're starting out. I mean, are you guys paying time and a half on the first hour then? On emergencies?
For emergency, yes.
Yeah, for emergency outages, if you don't know, then that first hour is time and a half because it's an emergency.
Yes.
And you can moonlight and make some pretty good money Friday, Saturday, Sunday. A lot of emergencies are weekend time. Yeah, so that's a great opportunity for us there. Yeah, so up and down the Ohio River, obviously with Southern Ohio and Kentucky and the Ohio River, a lot of it's coal-fired power plants, and that's great, a good way. We always like seeing our young grads go out single-handed on that 712 money.
Yes.
Because it is a great way to rack up a good bank account.
It really is quickly.
In a very quick amount of time.
To really build a rapport
Yeah.
and the type of persona they are, the worker, and that's going to set the next pace for them every job. So the references that they bring with them, the new references they make are just phenomenal and very crucial to their their next job, their next job, their next job.
Yeah. Now you talked about safety. You said that you guys do your own specific safety training to make sure they're safer. Is that on-site specific typically with you guys, or is that a Craftforce company safety training?
It's a Craftforce company. Usually it's just emailed to that person. They do it at home. It's several videos and quizzes, and they have to get an 80% on their quizzes.
Gotcha.
Or they have to retake it. And then if there is, like at Amazon, they had a site-specific training. So some of the power plants do that. So that'd be an additional training that they have to do, and they are paid for that as well.
Yeah, and currently we can do Passport, Tappy Safe, Power Safe. Those are modules that big companies will assign to an employee
Yes.
who they take it on their own time, like you're talking about. They watch the videos, they go through the modules, take the quizzes, get a passing score, they get oriented on job. But no, so the KWI students, and just to reiterate, then we get OSHA 30s, MSHA 24s. Like we feel like we're pretty robust in safety, but once you go to that contractor, you're still going to have to do some safety in on there, because the company has to buy off on you.
Yes.
Because ultimately, if you get hurt, it's it's going to be under the company's umbrella there. So like in a lot of things in construction, you can't take someone else's word for it. There's still going to be some safety training to catch up on and get with it. But how do our KWI students, graduates do when they're coming to you? Do they? I mean, hopefully we've really put it on as far as safety. How they faring out there?
There is no better package than what KWI out there. There is no better package, because what your individuals achieve and can achieve here is across the board. So they're getting their MSHA, they're getting their OSHA 30, they're getting their NCCCO. I know you know all this. They're getting their NCCER. They're getting all this. Their AWSD 1.1. The package that they have is so powerful. And besides having that, they are bringing it to the table, Bobby.
Well,
with being the type of employee that will be proud to represent us at Craftforce anywhere in the United States or across the world. They are honest, they are precise, they are very communicative, which is so important these days, because if there's an issue and they don't tell me, because I'm their HR as well, I can't fix it if I don't know. So they come out as strong young men and women. As far as the persona, you all lead the path in so many different levels that are out there. And so definitely, if you're thinking of coming and really grabbing a career that could be your lifetime, could be generations to come, definitely come see Bobby here at KWI and Ashley.
Thank you, baby. You're going to make me blush here. And we appreciate working with you. That CCO card, that's for us, rigger and signal operator. How much time do your welders with Craftforce work with cranes, flying objects around? I mean, because we do have a lot of people out there, maybe some naysayers that's not necessary. Go to weld school to learn how to welding. But yes, at KWI, we're trying to make this complete employee, someone that is a good hand, someone that Beth can rely on to do not just welding, but show up to work and be dependent on in other areas as well.
And that's going to make them that much more valuable because of that crane. And sometimes that's going to bump them up $1 or $2, having their NCCCO or NCCER. That's going to be very beneficial, and definitely will make the outsiders realize, well, maybe I need to do that as well. So it's a good promotion, within themselves, within their own unit of brotherhood, so to speak.
Yeah. Now, do you guys hire specific for the craft of rigger or signal?
Yes.
You do? Okay. So yeah, we've also told our guys that, hey, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if you bust a test, it's possible you could follow up and say, hey, can I be a rigger? Can I be a signal operator, right now? And then take that weld test again in 2 or 3 weeks. Typically there's a wait period for companies. If someone busts, that you have to wait 2 weeks or 30 days before they can retest, or if you need them at all. But they can still fall back on that rigger card, signal card, and those they're not paying too much less than a welder pay, but maybe on the upper end $5-6, but at least you're working.
Exactly.
Yeah.
making much more money than
sitting at home.
on the couch.
Right. Yeah, so I think the CCO card is powerful. I'm definitely proud that we're doing that. And again, the reason we started was because a couple years ago on the Hill there in DC, they pushed legislation that crane operators would now have to be nationally certified. And we could be wrong, Beth, we definitely could be, but I anticipate that it won't be too much longer, and those certified crane operators will be paired with certified riggers and certified signal persons. I could be wrong. If we're wrong, then it doesn't hurt our students at all. They still have those credentials in their pockets. They're still making money with those credentials. But if I'm right, those KWI grads will be way ahead of the power curve. And I just feel like that's the best thing we can do for those students is get them employable. So you have to do some training with the guys that come on board. How cool is it, from your seat, hiring, that these guys have all of that? Typically, we like to think that we are saving contractors, companies time and money, because people that we're sending you already come with their AWS certifications, with their OSHA cards, with their MSHA, their Basic Plus, TWIC, the TWIC cards. I don't know what you specifically require, what you see out there, but we see it on the job boards as far as companies requiring these things. And in my opinion, if I'm sitting in your shoes, and I know I can hire a guy today that doesn't need to sit on my time to earn it.
Right.
Man.
Then they can get to work that much faster, and the lag time is none.
Right. So given the opportunity, if you had two people you're hiring, A and B has this resume full of all these credentials and certifications, you're going with B.
Absolutely.
And I don't know who would. It's the smart thing to do. What about the future of the welding industry? Does Craftforce have any concerns? There's a lot going on right now.
Yes.
You've got an economy that's stalling. Let's be honest. We've got some inflation issues going on. I know we've politically frowned on the oil and gas, the pipeline out west, that kind of stuff that typically speaking will start to impact the welding industry pretty hard. Not to mention COVID and some of the incentives that our government is now giving people to essentially not go to work. What do you feel like is in the next year, 2 years, how do you think it's going to impact us? Or do you have an opinion on that? It's hard. I don't have a crystal ball myself.
No, I wish we did. Bobby. Well, as far as the welding field out there, I am in need of a lot of welders right now.
Yeah.
And these are full-time fabrication shops, really good quality companies that, with Craftforce, of course, we offer our medical and dental at 60 days. We offer 401k at 90 days.
Nice.
But the companies that we match up with, they have all that as well. They're going to have vacation time. They're going to have chances to win efficiency bonuses, safety bonuses. So just a couple things out there. So the welding, I need a lot of welders right now in the Cincinnati area. And then come fall with the new construction of the Amazon plant, and then back will be our outage season coming up beginning of September. So I think the welding industry is going to keep growing, and people realizing out there that they can make a living, and a very good living for themselves or their family, and don't have to go to a 4-year degree, and can be more successful a lot quicker because it doesn't take a 4-year time frame to finish, their certs.
Right, we do that quick math, return on investment. I could go to a 4-year school and probably be in debt somewhere to the tune of $100,000. The average school is probably $20,000, $25,000 to a 4-year degree, and now I've got to overcome that $100,000 debt. Typically speaking, I'm getting out making, probably starting out $30,000, $40,000. On the flip side, for a KWI education, $15,000, and in 6 months, it's possible I could make $36 an hour. And we've got what we call the 100K club. So what's the return on investment there? It's awesome. I wish my IRA would return that. I do good if I'm 7 or 8% growth in a year, and these guys can turn 15,000 into 100 in 1 year. So that's definitely a great thing. But like you said, right now we've got some students that aren't working. But we're throwing them jobs left and right, Beth. Some people, I think, are just comfortable right now, using maybe the pandemic or just giving themselves some extra time, I guess. But the jobs are out there. If I could say anything to anybody right now, it would be if you're a welder and want to work, it's out there. It's too easy to get the jobs. If you're not working, it's probably because you're not wanting to work. I mean, in this climate right now, they are screaming for welders and anything, honestly.
Yeah, anything.
Yeah, look at the prices on a lot of your consumables across the board. Anything you got at Walmart or fast food. We've got fast food chains in our hometown that are now offering $10, $12 an hour because they can't get people off the couch to come back to work. So that's unfortunate. It really is. And hopefully this economy will fix itself. But if you're a welder right now and you've just graduated,
come on, give me a call.
Yeah, and this is an awesome time for you because
it really is.
are so many jobs available, and you can really name your price and go where you want to go, because I really feel like it's out there to be grabbed.
It really is.
So Ms. Beth, we want to continue to work with you for sure. What about, about how many students do you think we've sent your way, you think?
Well, I was trying to dig deep in all my files and find that out. So I've come up with, since you all started, that I've got 53.
Oh.
We've had 53 people
Nice.
that have come through and worked for us at Craftforce. So it might have been just, one night, like I said, that was an emergency situation, and your men stepped up. They stepped up like they always do. So I was really excited to kind of do that digging, and them to know that I'm here to help them, just like you offer a lifetime of assistance, coming back to just practice or to have on the job board.
Right.
I'm here forever too. So my favorite thing is to find everybody jobs. So that's where I get so excited and make them happy. One
in particular that I can remember that really touched us at KWI, we enjoyed working with, and then I think we shared her with you, Natalie.
Yes, Natalie Goodrich.
Any good stories on Natalie?
Oh my goodness, she is a spark plug. She is just, she's on it. And a lot of the gentlemen, she was at 2 sites for us. She was at EKP, and she was also at the Amazon plant. So she did so well at East Kentucky Power that she got offered, out of several other people who were veteran welders, the opportunity to go weld for us at Amazon. So I was like, you go girl, you go girl. But she worked hard, Bobby. She's very talented. She was very attentive as far as finding information out. She was ahead of the game. So go Natalie, go Natalie.
Yeah. Natalie was good at those things that don't cost you a dime. She's just good to be around. She's positive. She's got good body language. She's just a nice person, someone you want to spend your day with, I guess. She shows up on time. She works hard. All those free things, again, don't cost you a dime and don't require any skill. But a lot of this generation, or at least we're lacking in those areas. Some very talented people just won't put in the time to work. They're not team players. They don't have good communication skills. But Natalie was definitely had it all in that one package, definitely.
Yeah, she was a full deck, absolutely.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll send you some more like that. I'm sure out of those 50 some that you've had a couple of Natalie experiences that really got you excited. But it's always cool. This industry typically is dominated by males. So to see someone like Natalie take charge, and we've had a couple recent ones here lately. I know Sheridan and Jennifer that have gone up and done some really good stuff as well, and we're pretty proud. I think it was probably maybe 3 years, Beth, before we had our first female at KWI.
Okay.
And now here we are in year 6, and we probably have half a dozen in the shop right now. So it's definitely something that we've identified as getting our advertising a little more to that demographic, I guess, and just letting them know that you can definitely make a good living. And it's not it is a male-dominated world, but it doesn't mean that you can't get in there and get it done.
There was a young lady actually right before coming here that was in KWI, and I kind of stopped her in the parking lot, and I said, it's so exciting to see a female in this industry, and she was really excited. She said she'll be finished in October. She said she was loving every minute of it. So definitely, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. You can succeed.
Right, for sure. So this is an industry for anybody and everybody. And I've always enjoyed, KWI has attracted students from all over now. There's only three states in the United States that we haven't interacted with so far, Beth. So just 3 states that we haven't either brought a student from or sent them out to work. So we've made a lot of good connections, a lot of good students from California, Alaska, Texas, and Georgia. So it's been a really cool experience that way. But just to see the diverse demographic of these students, I think welding unites us. You don't typically speaking, most of us here, the instructors, we're probably boots and wranglers type of individuals, but there's a lot of different walks of life that stumble onto welding because it is such a there's a passion in it. It's art, really. It's hard work. It's seeing what you've done.
So proud of what they accomplished. When it's a huge structure, they can say, I helped build that. I helped weld that. I welded all this, or it's so exciting to have that in your resume and in your repertoire. So absolutely.
So and again, just definitely attracting any kind of demographic. If you're interested in welding at all, then I would look us up, check us out on the YouTube, the Instagram, but do your homework for sure and check us out. But Miss Beth, back to you in Craftforce. So what? Anything new on the job board for Craftforce? You guys, any goals coming up that you guys are looking to knock out?
Absolutely. We have had the trouble with getting individuals to get motivated to come back to work.
Yes, ma'am.
So we're putting signs everywhere.
Yeah.
So actually I have my son helping today. We want to just be there for whatever type of industry you want, but we do specialize in the skilled trades. The welding, I've got 5 different companies right now that are full-time manufacturers that are wanting wanting welders.
Yeah. Now you guys actually have a profile page, am I correct?
Yes.
Where you could get in, log on
Yes.
to Craftforce, create a profile, list your skills, your experiences, essentially put your resume on,
Correct.
and then put a geographic area that you're willing to work in, and that would get them connected with you if they were looking for work. Now we've heard other places, other schools maybe saying that that's not how you go about it, that you don't need to have a resume and you don't need to work the job boards. What would you say to that? Is that
I'd say that's very negative. I said, no, you have to do that all.
Yeah.
You have to do that all. You have to make sure that when you're doing your interview process that you shine, that you let yourself shine through, of course, which
Right.
some that's difficult to communicate and get across what you want, and others you have to kind of pull a little bit more. But definitely, you've got to have your resume up to par.
Right.
And I always ask for my candidates to supply me with welding examples, because when I submit someone to a company, I want to be able to show them that this is their MIG, this is their stick, this is their TIG, and I ask them for a little caption. That way I make sure I get it absolutely correct.
Right.
So that's just something I personally like to give, because that picture says 1,000 words, and if that supervisor is looking at one weld and
Right.
they can see those dimes just flying across
Yeah.
there, they're going to be like, I'd
Yeah.
like to meet this young person,
Right.
and bring them in. So you've got to have that. You've got to check the job boards. You have to put your eggs in more than one basket. You just have to be respectful and polite. We know that people are job seeking in different areas, and just remember what you leave behind is your reputation. That you want to make sure that you just are professional and let that person know, Bobby, I've been looking at another place that might be closer to my home, so I just want to give you a notice. So just make sure you're out there, just be professional to the companies who are out there every day busting for you too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so drag is a 4-letter word at KWI.
Yes.
It's not something we especially that first year, Beth. Now we caveat and say that, hey, if for whatever reason that company is being unsafe or they've done things that are unethical, then by all means. But actually at KWI, we have a rule that if we catch you dragging in the first year you're out, you lose your brush up. Like don't call us, because essentially you're ruining KWI's name as well. And it's more important to us, and they don't realize it. The welding world is so small.
Yes.
And your first job out, you finish that thing and watch out. The next city you're in with a different company, your fitter's now your foreman. I mean, so many, again, very, very small world. And if you burn bridges right off the bat, it's going to stick with you.
It does.
Your name will be associated with dragging, and you'd be surprised how many companies won't give you a look because they think you're going to bail on them
Right.
as soon as the situation doesn't fit you. So for sure, dragging is a 4-letter word at KWI.
Yes.
But resumes and stuff. So the argument, I guess, in some areas is that the welding industry, you just have to have just make some phone calls or just show up and knock on doors type stuff. But so much of that is the 1990s, I think is what I'm saying. We are in such a digital age right now
Yes.
that having a resume and being connected on the job boards, Indeed, Road Dogs, Glassdoor, anything, Craftforce profiles, and being able to have your resume working for you while you're
Continuously.
right all the
Continuously.
time, just out there hunting jobs for you is important. So having that resume polished off, and KWI spends about a week or two on the employment soft skills. We do mock phone calls too to make sure that they can handle themselves with a contractor looking to hire a welder. We tell them to ask about pay. Is that okay with you?
Absolutely, and that's going to be something I tell right off the
Yeah.
bat, because that might make or break. And if they're needing for their family, and that's just not what they can live off of, then
Right.
I'm going to seek a different opportunity for them. So I'm very open and honest about everything up front.
And that's how we tell our guys too, as far as it's something you're gonna have to ask, because you got to know if you're gonna pack up and drive 1,000 miles.
Yes.
If they're only paying $22 an hour, no per diem, and it's a 40-hour week job, that might not get it done. So that per diem is important, hours and the days a week, because that overtime really adds a lot to
Yeah,
it.
that's what everyone wants, at least 610s.
Yeah.
At least 610s.
Yeah, and that's powerful, especially when you're young and trying to, accumulate, start out yourself.
Yes.
Yeah, just get going good. So again, resumes are important. Working the job boards. Now, phone calls are still fine,
Yes.
and knocking on doors are still fine. Like you said, we advertise or promote doing a little bit of everything.
Yes.
Because it's working all that's going to get it done. We don't want our guys waiting. Some of the worst cases we have, Beth, or we'll get a student that says, "Well, my Uncle John has me lined out," and they wait on that, and then Uncle John, whatever company he's working for, they didn't get that project, and now there's no job waiting on them. So we really advocate for them to be working job boards, putting their resumes out there, making some phone calls, so that month 6 they've hopefully lined out about 6 or 8
Yes.
jobs that they could go to, so that when they graduate, they can roll right out onto one and just stitch those together on the way out. That's also something we do. So if you had an outage, typically you're gonna let those guys know, kind of like that drag policy. Hey,
Yes.
I'm putting my 2 weeks. You guys let us know on the welding side. Hey, we're gonna start laying off in
Yes.
about 2 weeks. And what we recommend in that time is to go ahead and start making those phone calls.
Yes.
Start lining up the next, if Miss Beth tells me I'm out June 20th, then I need to start telling them that I need a test for June 21st. And that could shift left or right depending on what happens on that outage. But that's something we really drive home to help those guys stitch those jobs together and stay employed. Miss Beth, we had a great conversation.
Yes.
Do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I just am so grateful, Bobby, to be working with such pristine people with the best hearts, the best minds, and you project that through everything you all do.
Wow.
Everything. It's an honor. You set the bar and then you jump it and you're higher and higher, and that's what we at Craftforce want to do. We
Yes,
want to
ma'am.
just keep jumping above that bar.
And it's great to work with people that have the same growth mindset. Just lean forward and continuous improvement. How can Craftforce,
Yes.
how can KWI be better than we were last year? So it's always an honor to work with companies that again are leaning forward like we, our same mindset. So appreciate you coming in today. Thank you so much for talking to us. This is Bobby, KWI on the couch with Miss Beth from Craftforce, and we'll see you later.